Every withdrawal from your retirement account triggers a calculation you can't see, the math that determines whether your money lasts 30 years or runs dry at 72. The difference between those outcomes isn't market returns or investment skill. It's whether you understand the gap between feeling wealthy and being financially secure. $1 million sounds like I made it money. According to the math, it buys you about $6,000 a month, which is comfortable, sure. But it's not Taylor Swift floor seats and spontaneous trips to Europe comfortable. Most people discover this after they retire, when the money they thought would fund a luxury lifestyle barely covers a middle-class one. The real trap isn't having too little, it's not knowing what enough actually means, until you've already made irreversible decisions about when to quit, when to claim benefits, and how much you think you can spend. This is not financial advice, this is education. I am not your financial advisor. Welcome to Wealth Flow Invests, and on this channel, I break down how money actually works so you can make informed decisions with yours. If you find this kind of breakdown useful, consider subscribing. I publish a new one every week. The safe withdrawal rate, the percentage you can pull from your retirement savings each year without running out, started at 4%. That was the rule. William Bengen created it in the 90s by backtesting historical market data through the worst financial periods in American history: the Great Depression, the stagflation of the 70s, oil shocks, recessions, crashes. 4% survived them all. But then Bengen noticed something. Most retirees were dying, with the majority of their savings intact. The rule was so conservative that people were depriving themselves for decades to preserve wealth they'd never use. So he revised it up to 4.7%. Not because markets got safer, because retirees were optimizing for survival instead of actually living. That extra 0.7% might sound trivial, it's not. On a $500,000 nest egg, that's an additional $3,500 a year. Over a 30-year retirement, that's $105,000 you didn't spend because you were following an outdated rule. The financial industry loves conservative withdrawal rates because scared clients don't withdraw. They keep assets under management. They generate fees. The 4% rule wasn't designed to maximize your retirement. It was designed to minimize the chance you'd run out, which are two completely different objectives. Here's what the numbers actually look like. At $250,000, using the 4.7% rule, you would draw $11,750 per year. That's $979 a month. Alone, that's not a retirement, that's poverty with a portfolio. But if you're in the United States, you qualify for Social Security. The average benefit as of January 2026 is $2,071 per month, according to the Social Security Administration. Add your withdrawal, and you're at $3,050 monthly as a single person. $36,602 annually. For a couple both receiving average benefits, that jumps to $61,454 per year. The average retiree household spends about $60,000 annually, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Housing, transportation, healthcare, food, those four categories eat most of it. Which means a couple with $250,000 saved and 2 Social Security checks is statistically right at average spending. Not luxurious, not deprived, average. But here's where timing destroys or creates wealth. If you claim Social Security at 62, the earliest you're eligible, you get 70% of your full benefit. If you wait until 70, you get 124%. On a $2,071 monthly benefit, that's the difference between $1,450 and $2,568 every single month for the rest of your life. Run that out for a couple. Claim at 62, and you're pulling in $46,550 a year total. Wait until 70, and it's $73,382. That's a $26,832 annual difference. Not from saving more, not from better investments, from waiting 8 years to file paperwork. Over a 25-year retirement, that's $670,800. Most people don't wait. They see you can claim now, and they do it because the money feels real and immediate, and the future feels abstract. The industry doesn't correct this because longer retirements mean more years of account management. At $250,000, the psychological trap is panic. People look at their balance, compare it to the headlines saying you need $2 million to retire, and they spiral. They think they're behind, so they start making desperation plays. High-yield dividend stocks that are just value traps. Crypto speculation marketed as catching up. Get-rich-quick courses sold by people who got rich selling courses. According to research from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, individuals who perceive their retirement savings as inadequate are 3 times more likely to make speculative investments, which usually just accelerates the wealth destruction they're trying to avoid. The actual move at $250,000 is optimization, not speculation. Maximize Social Security by delaying if you can afford to. Minimize fixed costs by moving to a lower cost of living area or eliminating car dependency. A paid-off house in a modest metro and no car payment turns $36,000 a year into a comfortable life. A mortgage and 2 car notes in a high-cost city turns it into financial stress. Same income, different choices. Now double it. $500,000. Withdrawal rate of 4.7% gives you $23,500 annually. Add Social Security at full retirement age of 67, and a single person gets $48,352 per year. A couple gets $73,204. That's about $6,100 a month. Comfortable. Genuinely comfortable. You can travel once or twice a year, eat out multiple times a week, splurge occasionally. You're not buying exotic cars or owning a vacation home, but you're not stressed about the electric bill either. Here's the trap. $500,000 sounds like a lot of money. Your brain hears $500,000 and starts writing a different script. The big European trip, the luxury car, the loosened budget. You haven't retired yet, but you're already spending like you have. It's the same psychology as getting a big commission check next month and buying things today on the assumption it's coming. Except the deal can still fall through. At $500,000 you haven't made it, you've made it to comfortable if you stay disciplined. The moment you think you're rich is the moment you start making decisions that ensure you won't stay that way. This is the false summit problem. Climbers die on Everest not because they can't reach the top. They die because they reach the top, celebrate, and forget they're only halfway through the journey. The descent kills them. $500,000 in retirement savings is the summit. You still have to descend through 30 years of withdrawals, healthcare costs, inflation, and market volatility. Celebrating at the peak is how you run out of oxygen on the way down. At $750,000, the math gets genuinely comfortable. Withdraw $35,250 per year at 4.7%. Add Social Security, and a single person at 67 gets $60,102 annually. A couple gets $84,954. That's $7,079 a month. You can travel internationally multiple times a year, pursue expensive hobbies like golf, help grandkids financially, eat at nice restaurants without checking prices. This is the level where your nest egg actually starts contributing meaningfully to lifestyle, not just survival. But 2 psychological traps show up here. The first is the arbitrary number obsession. People at $750,000 often fixate on hitting $1 million so intensely that they work years longer than necessary. They sacrifice time, the one resource you can't compound, chasing a number that doesn't actually change their lifestyle. Most retirees die with the majority of their savings intact, according to multiple studies. They spend decades accumulating, then never spend it. The second trap is complacency. They hit $750,000 and stop monitoring investments, stop optimizing Social Security timing, stop saving entirely. They coast, assuming the number is big enough that details don't matter anymore. Details always matter. The difference between claiming Social Security at 62 versus 70 is still worth 6 figures over retirement. That doesn't stop mattering because you have $750,000 saved. Then there's the million. $1 million. $1 million. $47,000 annual withdrawal. Add Social Security, and a single person at 67 gets $71,852 per year. A couple gets $96,704. $8,058 a month. This is where retirement becomes luxurious. Generous gifts to family, funding grandkids' education, multiple international trips, premium concert tickets, hobbies without price tags. This is the level most people dream about. And here's where your brain breaks. Because millionaire is a word that carries weight. You hit 7 figures and something shifts. You feel like you won the game. So you go online, find the FIRE communities on Reddit, and discover people saying they need 3 million, 5 million, 10 million to retire. Suddenly your million feels inadequate. You start chasing just one more year to get to a bigger number that someone on the internet said you need. One more year becomes 2, becomes 5. You're sacrificing the time you wanted to buy with money to accumulate more money to buy more time you're not taking. The exercise that breaks this cycle: write down your dream retirement lifestyle. Every category: housing, food, travel, healthcare, entertainment, giving, everything. Add it up. Let's say it's $8,000 a month. $96,000 annually. Subtract your Social Security, assume $3,000 monthly for a couple, so $36,000 annually. You need $60,000 per year from your nest egg. Using the 4.7% rule, that's $1.276 million. That's your number. Not 2 million because Reddit said so. Not 1.5 because you're scared. 1.276 million funds the specific life you actually want. If you want to work longer to get there, fine. But you're working toward a defined outcome, not an arbitrary status marker. The pattern across all these levels is the same. The trap isn't the amount, it's the story you tell yourself about the amount. At $250,000, the story is, it's not enough, so you gamble. At $500,000, the story is, I'm rich now, so you spend early. At $750,000, the story is just a little more, so you delay living. At $1 million, the story is, I'm a millionaire, so you compare out and feel poor again. Every story is designed to keep you from actually using your money to buy the thing money is supposed to buy: time and autonomy. The system profits from these stories. The longer you work, the more years of payroll taxes and consumption. The more you save, the more assets under management generating fees. The later you claim Social Security, the fewer years of benefits paid out if you die early. The more you compare yourself to people with more, the more products you buy trying to close the gap. Financial adequacy isn't a number, it's freedom from the narratives that keep you running on someone else's treadmill. Social Security timing alone can swing your retirement income by 77%. For a couple, that's $2,000 to $4,000 more per month just from waiting to file paperwork. $24,000 to $48,000 more per year. For life, that decision matters more than most investment returns. But it's not marketed to you as important, because the system benefits when you claim early and die before you collect the full value of your contributions. Every tier has a lesson. At $250,000, optimize fixed costs and maximize Social Security. Don't gamble. At $500,000, don't confuse feeling rich with being secure. At $750,000, don't chase arbitrary numbers or coast on false comfort. At $1 million, don't let a word, millionaire, redefine what's enough. The number that matters is the one that funds the life you actually want, not the life someone else said you should want. If you remember one thing, your retirement number isn't about reaching a milestone, it's about buying freedom from needing to reach the next one. When you're deciding whether to work one more year, ask yourself if you're accumulating to live or living to accumulate. The answer will tell you if you're optimizing for wealth, optimizing for life. Everything else is details. I break down a different piece of how money actually works every week. Subscribe if you want the full picture. The difference between a comfortable retirement and a stressful one isn't how much you saved, it's whether you knew what enough looked like before you made irreversible decisions about time.